Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we will be reading from True Off My Chest. Our first post is by the eldest. I had an affair with a married man, and I still don't think I deserve how kind his wife has been. I didn't know he was cheating. He told me he was in his late 30s, never married, and there were no pictures of his family on his social media, so I trusted him. I was 18. I know him being interested in someone so much younger should have been a red flag. But I'd only recently got away from a pretty abusive home, and having someone treat me like an adult made me feel special. But then I got pregnant. We weren't planning on it, but I was happy. I feel so stupid now, but I really thought we could build a life together. He tried to pressure me into aborting, and when I said no, I've no judgment for anyone who would terminate in my situation. But I couldn't imagine doing it, and it's not an easy thing to get access to where I live. He just ghosted me entirely. I ended up finding his real Facebook account. Everything he told me except his first name was a lie. He's 45 and was married with 2 kids, the oldest being only 3 years younger than me. I ended up messaging his wife. I'll call her Mary for this. She asked me a few questions, thanked me, and promised she didn't blame me. And I thought that was that. When my son was born, I gave him my last name and told the hospital staff I didn't know who the father was because I was embarrassed about what I'd done. 6 months later, Mary reached out to me. She told me the divorce was ongoing. She'd separated from her husband. He basically ditched their family entirely as soon as he was found out, which makes sense in hindsight, and wanted to know if I'd be okay meeting up to talk about things. I agreed and, to be honest, basically had a breakdown in Starbucks while talking to her. I dropped out of college. My applications for government assistance were taking too long. My own parents wanted nothing to do with me, and I was at risk of losing my apartment. I felt like a failure and was considering giving my son up for adoption because I didn't think I'd be able to care for him. I still feel awful about her having to comfort me, but she did. She outright hugged me despite everything. And a week later, she reached out again saying she'd talked to her kids and that if I wanted, I could come and stay with their family. I've been living with them for almost a year now. My room used to be Mary's husband's games room, apparently. But now it's me and my sons. It was very awkward at first, especially with the kids, but they never hated me for what I did, and after some adjusting we've been getting on well. We hang out sometimes at home and stuff. We've had a couple of sessions of all airing out our grievances about their dad, and they've both come to me for advice. The youngest invited me to her drama club's Christmas play, and I don't think I've ever been so honored. They call my son their nephew instead of their half-brother, which I guess makes us maybe sisters, but I don't want to push that if they're not comfy, so I'm not putting a label on it. And Mary's just been an absolute angel. I've tried to get her to accept rent more than once, but she insists that as long as I'm saving some money, I don't owe her anything. She's helped with childcare. She buys food for us with everyone else, and she's promised that she'll fund a lawyer if I ever feel ready to go after her ex for child support. She called me my eldest when talking to a friend recently, and y'all, I had to go and cry for a while. She really does treat me and my son like family, and I think she's going to be his grandma. My son's going to grow up with the loving household I didn't have because this woman looked at me, the person her husband cheated with, and chose to open her heart. I still don't really feel like I deserve it. I haven't told them that because I don't want to be ungrateful for what this family's done for me, but I still struggle to imagine doing the same in her position. I don't understand how she can look at me without feeling hurt about what happened, let alone basically call me her kid, but I don't want any of it to change. I don't know if there's a point at the end of all this. I just wanted to get it all out because it's coming up to the anniversary of me moving in, and I've been having a lot of feelings. So if you did read all of this, thank you, genuinely. Edit. I was totally unprepared for the outpouring of support. Y'all, I thought this post would get a couple of comments then die. I just wanted to get it out there. But you've all been incredible, and you've really helped me see what Mary must have seen in me and what her husband really did. I may have cried more than once today because of y'all. I can't reply to all of you. I have answered a couple of questions and talked to someone who thought I was someone else, but to just respond to some common things I'm seeing. I don't expect to live here forever, but Mary's been clear that I don't need to move out, and after rushing to get away once in my life, I don't want to do it again. For now, I'm working and saving up, and hope to move out sometime next year. I might think about going back to school, but it depends on how things shake out. I don't think I could manage work, college, and my son at the same time, at least when he's still so young, and I really don't want to ask for any more from Mary and the kids. I do plan to go after child support eventually, but I'm afraid of having to face Mary's ex-husband in court, or at all, to be honest. So it's something I'm working up to. I do help around the house. I'm on the chore rota, and I buy groceries, etc. when Mary doesn't. I do pay Mary's eldest to look after my son on occasion. I've offered to pay Mary too, but like the rent, she insists I keep it, and she's paying for his daycare. For the anniversary, I'm going to have a friend of mine watch my son and take them all out for a nice dinner as a way of saying thanks. I know it's the least I can do, but I'm trying. Our next post is by Ingenuity According. My wife cheated on me while we were still married. She gets pregnant with the guy she was cheating on me with, who is also married to someone else. She has this idea that he's going to leave his wife and they're going to get married. She got a lawyer and filed for divorce. I get a lawyer too. Only thing is that he works for his wife's father, who is setting him up to take over when daddy retires. He realized that getting a divorce means his cushy career is over, confesses everything to his wife and begs for her forgiveness. His wife takes him back and he cuts off my wife. Seeing that her dreams of living with her boyfriend are over, she claims that I'm the father, which is impossible because by that time we hadn't had sex for more than a year before conception. This does not stop her from telling everyone who will listen that it's my kid. She has her lawyer drop the divorce proceedings. I tell my lawyer to start them with me as the plaintiff and that I want to dispute paternity. I move out. She starts stalking me, shows up at my job and tries to get in. I work as a civilian in R&D at a military base. The MPs do not take any of her crap and wind up detaining her when she tries to run past the gate. She calls me at work to bail her out or something. I tell her that whatever she's done, it's not my problem, and hang up. I also was able to get a restraining order, which she violated repeatedly. She asked for everything, both cars, the entire house and contents, savings, my retirement account, etc., plus 7 years of spousal support. I offered no support and half of the assets. If she wanted to house, she'd have to buy me out and refinance in her name only. When the kid was born, she tried to put my name on the birth certificate anyway, but I'd already successfully disputed paternity, so that didn't go over well. She had to go after Loverboy, who was definitely less than happy to see her. In the end, we split the assets 50-50, sold the house, and she got no spousal support. I don't know if she was able to get money for the kid from Loverboy or not. She called me a few times after the divorce, wanting to get together and talk. The calls were in violation of the restraining order, but I never reported it. About 6 months after the divorce was final, I was offered a new job on the other side of the country. I took it and never told anyone outside of my family where I was going. Almost all of our friends believed her when she claimed the baby was mine and made me out to be the asshole, so I didn't really feel the need to tell them anything. Life is better now. Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.